New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It's 5 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for the good news. Opportunity I take to share some of the good news stories I've found across the internet throughout the week, and I trust will support you in having some great fun conversations this weekend. Some stories you can bring up in the news as having been in the news throughout the day. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to chime along, chat along. Let us know where you are in the world and let us know that you're watching. We'd love for you to join the conversation. First up tonight, going all the way over to the UK. This year marks the 130th anniversary of the founding of the United Kingdom's National Preservation Society, called the National Trust. To mark the occasion, they're setting a goal, which they are not afraid to admit they're calling it a moonshot, something they don't think, they don't know how it's going to happen. The trust has always stepped up to face the challenges of the day, whether that's saving a crumbling heritage building or funding an important treasure purchase for a museum. But its new goal is to restore over 500,000 acres of natural spaces, equivalent to 1.5 times the size of the Greater London area. Wow. Looking at over 617,000 acres, the trust is going to turn to private landowners and communities to carry out much of the restoration work. It doesn't own enough degraded land to match such a goal, so they're going to need private communities and other landowners with degraded land to step forward and say, yeah, we'll be part of this. Now, rather than restoring individual patches of land, the trust wants to help reconnect wider landscapes together in a varied mosaic of rich and resilient natural habitat. Harry Bowell, the trust's director of land and nature, gave the example of the Lunt Farm in Liverpool, a recent acquisition, which was part of this 716,000 acre objective. Over 90,000 native trees will be planted across the degraded farm, which will connect it to the Mersey Forest network, allowing native wildlife species to better disperse across the land. In a recent interview, Bowl said the project was a moonshot, but one he and his colleagues think is practically achievable because of the mapping we've done to outline the areas. Good news, good news. Saving, preserving the environment over in the UK, thanks to the National Trust. Folks, we get most of our stories over at the goodnewsnetwork.org. That's goodnewsnetwork.org. They do a fabulous job of curating good news stories. We invite you to be sure to drop in, say hi, and share a little love. Give them some of the love and attention that they deserve for the work they do over on the Good News Network. If you have a good news story you think we should cover or would like us to see on our program, please send an email, goodnews@ntmedia.org. Or if you'd like to share in, be a guest host, and host the program or share a specific story on the program sometime, again, let us know. Good news at ntmedia.org. All right, up next, a team at Northwestern University has transformed an industrial waste product into a battery for storing sustainable energy. Now, this is not the first we've reported on waste product batteries or batteries made from various waste products. This one's got a couple of unique features to it, though. This is triphenyl phosphine oxide. Yeah, say that once slowly. It's also known as TPPO, and this has never been tried before. Now, the batteries used for our phones, devices, and cars often rely on metals like lithium and cobalt, which are sourced through intensive and sometimes exploitive mining operations, and demand for these critical minerals is expected to skyrocket over the coming decades. At the same time, thousands of tons of well-known chemical byproducts, TPPOs, are produced each year by many organic industrial synthesis processes, including the production of vitamin supplements. But it's rendered useless and must be carefully discarded following the production. Well, in a paper published last week in the Journal of the American Chemical Society, a quote, one-pot reaction allows chemists to turn TPPO into a usable product with the powerful potential to store energy, opening the doors for the future viability of a long-imagined battery type called redox flow batteries. Battery research has traditionally been dominated by engineers and material scientists, said Northwestern chemist and lead author of the study, Christian Malapet. Synthetic chemists can contribute to the field by molecularly engineering an organic waste product into an energy storing molecule. Our discovery showcases the potential of transforming waste compounds into valuable resources, offering sustainable pathway for innovation in battery technology. Woo! Making batteries out of chemical waste. Right on. This is what we need, folks. Innovative ideas and new ideas on how we can support and serve the world in creating a better world for all. And I'm happy to say, although a little belatedly, the United States Food and Drug Administration has done just that this week, banning the use of red dye number 3. Honestly, I thought we'd already done that. However, they've given food companies another 3 years until 2027 to remove it, and drug companies have until 2028 to remove the red dye number 3. The decision does come after years of advocacy from organizations that point to evidence showing how red dye 3 has caused cancer in animals. It's been banned in cosmetics since 1990. But remained in thousands of food and beverage products. So it was too dangerous to put on our skin, but it was okay to put in our food. Sometimes, folks, we're building a new society. We're building a new world. We wouldn't be celebrating this historic decision today without the relentless leadership of public health champions like Michael Jacobson, and others who took up this fight decades ago on behalf of consumers. That's according to the president and co-founder of the Environmental Working Group, Ken Cook. He celebrated in his statement, today's action by the FDA marks a monumental victory for consumer health and safety, said Cook. For years, Red 3 remained in food products despite growing evidence linking it to health problems, particularly in kids. This ban sends a strong message that protecting the health of Americans, especially vulnerable children, must always take priority over the narrow interests of the food industry. Maybe. Sorry, Ken. I think a strong message would have been to make it happen right away and not give these folks any more time. They've had plenty of time to know this was coming. Good news still, nonetheless. We're making it happen one step at a time. Hey, here's a promising story. 9 out of every new car sold in Norway is electric. And Norway is really on the cusp of bidding farewell to internal combustion vehicles forever. Tax incentives and other perks like free parking, a diverse market of foreign and EU-made vehicles, and the vast charging network have moved the country towards national consumption, towards electric vehicles and away from gas-powered vehicles. Now, back in 2017, they set a non-legislative and rather vague goal of phasing out fossil fuel cars. The recent market data suggests that the goal is now well within reach of the country of 5.5 million residents. Despite the cold temperatures that are regularly draining batteries, consumers speaking to various sources said the range and charging weren't major struggles, given a simple change of mindset. Rather than charging when you need it, you charge when you can. We've also reported here on the Good News Network of Colorado Town using electric school buses that outperform diesel in the cold weather months, pointing to how Norway can continue to expand their use as well. They also said there's no reason why the Norwegian model couldn't be adopted by other countries, as there's not really an overly greened mindset in the purchasing decision. It's more about ensuring that EVs are available, affordable, and sensible. A third of all registered cars in the road in the country today are electric. In Norway are electric, if you count the diesel vehicles. If not, they're at 50-50. And Norway has more proven gas and petroleum reserves than any other European nation. Like many of the world's largest oil and natural gas exporters, they enjoy a massive sovereign wealth fund totaling over 1.7 trillion, which allows them to shrug off the loss of tax revenue from EVs, most of which are exempt from import and property taxes, keeping the cost of the vehicles low. Good job, Norway, making it happen in 2024 and 2025. I love it. All right. Folks, we do need to take a quick break, let a couple of our sponsors say hello, let you learn a little bit more about the people that make this all happen. But we'll be back in just a moment or so with more of the good news. Please let your friends and family know what we're doing. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll be right back after these messages.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the 2025 Season for Nonviolence 64-day meditation series, January 30th through April 4th. New meditations published daily at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on our YouTube channel. Join us as we carry the vision of a world that works for all. Only on New Thought Media Network. Learn more at www.ntmedia.org.
Join our celebration of Black History Month. Only on New Thought Media Network. New videos every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, or watch anytime on our YouTube channel. 28 unique Black History moments. Every day in February. Come join us as we celebrate Black History Month. Only on New Thought Media Network.
And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm Dr. Robert. Thanks for being with us on a Friday evening. I do trust that you'll have a chance to check out more of our programming throughout the week. All right, back into the good news. You know, with all this talk about a TikTok ban, I wanted to see what are some of the good news stories that are happening with TikTok. And here is one of them. A TikTok landscaper has helped to raise over $800,000 for an elderly disabled woman who couldn't find anyone to mow her lawn. Viral TikTok account SB Mowing has been featured here on New Thought Media Network before. It's owned and operated by a young man named Spencer, and it features him mowing people's lawns for whatever reason who can't. Takes care of overgrown lawns. I've watched some of his videos. They're surprisingly relaxing. And so back in July, as a matter of fact, we featured a story where Spencer found a tabby cat in one of his videos. And at that time, folks and viewers of the channel started to GoFundMe to help with costs of the kitty cat, raised over $190,000. Well, this time Spencer was visiting an older woman named Beth. Beth explains that she was looking for someone to mow and shear her yard and plants, but was unable to find anybody. And then a local government official paid her a visit and levied a $250 fine if she didn't take care of the mess. Well, Spencer jumped right in, heard about the story and jumped in, said, I'll do the backyard, whatever you need, and I'll do it free. I won't charge you a dime. Well, the 6-minute video accumulated over 94 million views, many adding that the lawn isn't even that bad. Now, after Spencer takes all of his footage and moves it into a time-lapse video, Beth was said to that she was crying listening to the machines as they worked. Well, this time the GoFundMe raised over $800,000. Back in earlier in the month, and on the 13th, Spencer created an update announcement video that he was working with an attorney to create a trust fund for Beth so that no one could take advantage of her and the money she was about to receive. They also are going to set up a portion that will be given as a donation to charity. Spencer explained to Beth that my viewers kind of fell in love with you and your story. We wanted to come together as a community and help you out and get you to a better spot. Beth remarked that she can't even cry. I can't even think. Those are the things dreams are made of. Yes, they are. Good work, Spencer. And congratulations, Beth, for creating a good news story for us to share. Here's one out of Alaska, a story of wildlife rehab center that got its hooves on a few bucks to help out their deer following a recent story. Sorry, folks, all puns are intentional. Back on January 6th, a storm swept through the Portage Valley with over 80-mile-an-hour winds and destroyed the Sitka black-tailed deer shelter at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, also known as AWCC. Thankfully, all 5 of the resident deer were safe and unharmed. The shelter, however, took substantial damage. Now, AWCC takes in many of Alaska's large mammals if they're found injured or orphaned. They enjoy the company of caribou, Sitka blacktails, and even musk oxen. But the blacktails are known as the friendliest of their residents. They're some of the friendliest animals we have on the property, but they're also very aware of their surroundings, that according to Executive Director Sarah Howard. Keeping fur and feed dry year-round, the shelter was essential for providing a safe haven during harsh weather, as for an area for feeding and a warm space for recovery after medical procedures will need it. Well, the cost to replace the ruined shelters with a more resilient structure was estimated to be around $30,000, which was incredibly crowdfunded with $3,000 extra in just 36 hours. Howard said, "We're just super gracious for everyone's support and the help that we're now going to be able to immediately start building on Monday." Yes, Sarah. Congratulations. And thank you to everyone that makes this a little bit easier. Makes everything a bit easier. All kinds of things and all kinds of ways we come together to support each other and the wildlife in our world. That's what we're doing as part of the Good News Network. As part of the Good News Media Network. Hey! That's part of what we like to do as part of New Thought Media Network, make the place a better place to live. All right, let's keep going, getting on to, we've got a whole bunch. Now, those that know that we do a Hero of the Week segment every week, and we will today as well in our third segment. However, we're dipping into the good news, the good hero stories already tonight. This one comes to us from San Angelo, Texas. A Doberman named Kai has been credited with saving his owner's life in a dramatic turn of events. Kai's quick thinking and remarkable actions ensured that his owner's grandfather received critical medical care in just the nick of time. According to the family, the incident began when Kai's owner's grandfather became unresponsive while sitting in a recliner. Sensing that something was wrong, the untrained but highly perceptive dog sprang into action. Despite never having been taught to operate doors, Kai managed to open a round doorknob, make his way outside, and alert the neighborhood with persistent barking. Kai's urgent barks caught the attention of concerned neighbors, one of whom promptly contacted the San Angelo Police Department. When officers arrived at the scene, they carefully assessed Kai's demeanor and determined he was friendly, allowing them to enter the home. Inside, they discovered the grandfather still in the recliner, unresponsive and in dire need of medical attention. The grandfather is recovering well with the family, according to these reports. And Kai has been awarded a Doggy Hero Award for his actions. Right on, Kai. Woof, woof. Good news here on a Friday night. All right, folks, we're going to take one more quick break, say hello to a couple more sponsors, and say thank you to our organizational sponsors and individual donors. However, we've got more heroes coming up, including this week's big hero of the week. You want to stay tuned for our final segment, so come on back. We'll be back in just a moment or so with more here on New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the 2025 season for Nonviolence Meditation Series, January 31st through April 4th. Embrace nonviolence every day with our 64 unique video meditations. Join us at 6 a.m. Mountain Time or watch anytime on our YouTube channel. Featuring a collection of New Thought voices, the 2025 season for Nonviolence Meditation Series. Only on New Thought Media Network, January 31st through April 4th.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our organizational sponsors and individual donors. Your financial contributions go a long way to helping us take this message out into the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you do and everything you contribute. All right, back into the good news here on a Friday night. This is one of those stories that slipped through the cracks. Not sure how we didn't catch this one. Back in June of last year, Timothy Van Nostrand, pictured here, was driving on Highway Interstate 88 in New York. Now, Timothy is a New York timber trucker. and he helped to corral a shooter who had injured a police officer. Van Nordstrand is the owner and operator of his own logging transport company in Northville, New York, and is well acquainted with the dangerous work. Although back in June, he said it happened so fast. I wasn't 100% sure what I saw, but I saw the trooper kind of skip sideways a little bit. Nordstrand then explains he saw the driver draw a gun and start shooting out of the back window of the car at the trooper, which started a 12-minute ordeal with troopers and passengers in a gun battle. Nordstrom pulled his logging truck in front of the shooter's car and blocked that car in, ensuring the shooter wasn't able to escape. No details on whether the shooter was taken into custody or not, wounded or perhaps killed by the officers. Van Nordstrom was later honored by the New York State Police and the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company as a highway hero. According to a spokesman, the purpose of the Highway Hero program is to bring more awareness and appreciation of the powerful impact that commercial drivers can have on the road, individuals, lives, and communities. Van Nordstrom was awarded a cash prize and a ride in the Goodyear blimp. I want to go up in the blimp. That would be cool. That's worth all of it right there. He told a local news affiliate, "You're sitting there listening to the gunfire, allowing plenty of time for second guesses, but it turned out it was the right decision. Most of the people I know and work with would do the same thing," he said. "We all look out for each other, and 99% of us are looking out for everybody else, too." Thank you, sir. Thank you, Timothy, for being part of the good news, for being part of the heroes in the world doing the good work. And hey, talk about a hero in the world. An Olympic level kite surfer for Brazil happened to be testing out some video equipment on his board when he recognized there was a stranded and exhausted swimmer on the verge of drowning. 31-year-old Bruno Lobo described the rescue as, quote, "The day that God used me as an instrument to save this young woman, all honor and glory go to him." The husband and father of one recorded much of the rescue completely by accident. He was out trying a new mount that attaches the camera to the front of his kiteboard. After sailing a few meters, he heard a cry for help, looked at the girl who was that appeared to be drowning, quickly approached her with the kite, and had her grab on. He was able to sail her back to safety. She was not injured, and he is being hailed as a hero. Absolutely. Go, Bruno. Let's hope you make the next Olympics, sir, for your kiteboarding. We'll be watching out for you. Folks, this past couple weeks, the fires in LA have been all over the news, and with a massive amount of loss, both of life and of property, it's good to know there are some good stories that are coming out. Last Wednesday evening, a brush fire started near Runyon Canyon and the hills overlooking the densely populated area of Hollywood Boulevard. Evacuation orders were issued, but luckily some of the residents refused to leave and stayed. Blowing embers from a fire ignited a tall palm tree above the house of a neighbor where the homeowners had already fled. Well, a half a dozen neighbors jumped into action with ladders and hoses and started spraying down the palm tree to lessen the embers. Those embers were being blown about in the wind. However, they were able to extinguish most of them. A roving ABC 7 news crew was on the scene and described the actions of the Good Samaritans. The concern of all these ashes are falling on top of this house and the house next door. To this point, with this fire, we have not seen any houses go up in flames, but you know how it gets. One turns to two, turns to a dozen really quickly. Luckily, in this case, no houses were lost, as the neighbors were able to keep the embers at bay. Good news and good work. By the way, Los Angeles County firefighters gained the upper hand around midnight that evening of that fire and fully contained the fire behind the Hollywood Hills area. it's been extinguished completely and the fire evacuation order has been lifted. And here, folks, there can only be one a week. It's time for our hero of the week. A weather enthusiast and passionate community volunteer saved a Pasadena neighborhood by broadcasting 2 simple words to a social media channel the other day. It said, "Get out." Edgar McGregor, a climatology graduate at San Jose State University and leader of the Altadena Weather and Climate Group on Facebook, also publisher of the Weather McGregor service on Patreon, picked up on every clue that the fire risk to Altadena was going to be terrifyingly high on the evening of January 7th. 2 days in advance of the Eaton fire, McGregor advised his followers that, quote, "the fire danger is going to be sky high in and around Eaton Canyon, and that they should have their packs ready, their cars already packed for evacuation, and one eye on the horizon at all times." McGregor was monitoring a developing storm front, the kind that tends to magnify the already high winter winds of Santa Ana. We now know that to be true. According to local news, Pasadena, McGregor was well aware of the conditions resulting in two previous weather incidences, one in 1993 that did involve a wildfire, and one in 2011 that resulted in thousands of downed trees, blown over houses, and smashed cars. At 6:15 p.m. on January 7th, amid 70-mile-an-hour winds, down transmission lines provided the spark of the Eaton fire. Around 4 a.m. the next morning, McGregor logged into his Facebook account and made a video. In so many words, his message was simply, "Get out. Don't wait. Pack your cars, photo albums, medications, birth certificates, social security cards, anything you can't live without, put it in your car. This is imminent. Do not wait for an official evacuation. Get out." Unbelievably, this was the only alert that over 2,500 members of the Altadena weather and climate community received for nearly an hour as they started to evacuate the hills. Edgar McGregor is an actual American hero. I am so grateful for him for sharing his vast knowledge. My pets and I would have burned along with my home had I not heeded his warnings. Local resident Tori Silverman is quoted as saying, "I texted a friend after seeing Edgar's post who didn't know about the fires or the evac. She was able to get her family out before losing her home." I want to give a shout out to Edgar McGregor for saving so many lives. Everywhere I go in Pasadena, I run into people who tell me that this 24-year-old guy on the internet told me this was going to happen a week and a half ago, and they were ready to go, and they left, and they were safe. Thank you, Edgar McGregor, for being our hero of the week. And thank you, folks, for being here with us on the New Thought Media Network. My name's Dr. Robert. I'm going to get out of here for now. Let you get into the rest of your Friday. Join us at the top of the hour, 6 o'clock. Reverend Michael Mangus will be with us, and he shares the Friday Fireside Chat. Always a fun experience. You make sure you want to be there for us to check that out as well. All right, until next time, I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.